What up, YouTube world? It's your boy Halucha Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm back for the third time, but you don't even know it's the third time, with another WWE uh, Wrestlemania thing. It was kind of hard to describe it, but WrestleMania is this week. The card. What I'm gonna do. It's kind of funny that I've been doing this. I did this twice already. I think this third time is gonna be good. I just had to restart my computer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through I'm going to go through both matches. I'm going to go through the Raw matches first because Raw happened, and then I'm going to go through SmackDown, like the SmackDown ones. And I'm going to for Raw, I'm going to do what my interest level is for Raw. I'm going to do my interest level, and for after that for SmackDown, I'm just going to guess of how I think is going to go. Based on just based on the feuds. But I could be wrong. There was some things that happened on Raw last night that I thought was gonna go one way, but after last night, I think maybe it could go a whole different way. But we'll see. But these are the matches for night one. They're between Raw and SmackDown. Raw Raiders versus Kofi Kingston. Raw Raiders versus New Day, Kofi and Woods. Which, by the way, that's the match we're going to talk about first because that is the match I'm not interested really in all. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, Jade versus Naomi, L.A. Knight, versus Jacob Fatu, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the women's title. That L.A. Knight and Jacob Fatu is for the U.S. title. Gunther versus Jay for the World Heavyweight title. Roman versus Punk versus Seth for the triple threat match, just main event night one. Night two. Hey, shush. Night two, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for the tag team titles. AJ versus Logan Paul. Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn versus Dominic. Four-way for the IC title. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Sin City Street Fight. Oh, that match Io, Bianca, Rhea triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. And Cody versus John Cena. Main event night two for the undisputed WWE Championship. So, like I kind of alluded to first, the first match that I'm really not interested in all is Raw Raiders versus the New Day, which is unfortunate for me, being brown skinned, the only black people that's on the card. I'm not interested in this match. It's because they didn't give anything interesting for this match. It was literally, I think a couple of weeks ago, the New Day, they claimed after they beat like LWO, I think, or something happened. I remember they were feuding with LWO, and then they went into the office for uh, Adam Pearce, who was already on 1,000 that night, about them saying that they demand a tag team title shot. And it was like you're not gonna come in here and demand anything. You want a tag team title shot because they said they wanted that at WrestleMania, but you want a tag team title shot, you got to earn it. So I think they faced LWO. I think the following week, and they won. And then they came back and was like, yeah, we want our tag team title match at WrestleMania. We deserve it. And then Raw Raiders came out. And they had war words. Maybe they brawled. I don't remember. I think they did brawl. And then I think that was really it. And then like last night, they was playing Clash of Clans or Clash of whatever they was playing. And Kathy Kelly, I think they had an interview with the Raw Raiders. They talked about them wanting to win the titles, but their destiny is not going to, whatever they said, I don't remember. But they said, we're doing something. I don't care what they said. We're going to be tag team champions. And that was it. So the match will probably be fine. New Day, there will probably be tag team champions because I don't remember them winning a match at WrestleMania. I don't think. Well, I mean, Kofi himself, he won the WWE title against Daniel Bryan. But as a team, I don't remember them winning any matches. I don't think. And I think a lot of their matches they also was on the pre-show. So we'll see. Next up for what I am interested in is, well, least interested in. So So my first one, no interest. Second one, slightly, maybe as not interested, but slither of hope for my boy. And it's AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I'm not interested in this match because I'm not interested in Logan Paul. The dude can wrestle. He can wrestle, and I hate him that he's so good at wrestling. But really, the match should really, if you, I mean, honestly, if we're talking about it, the match really should be between AJ Styles and Karrion Kross, or you could make it a triple threat match and make it between AJ Styles, Karrion Kross, and Logan Paul, because Karrion Kross has been really the glue to this match. He's the one reason why it's a little bit more interesting than the tag team match, and the fact that AJ Styles might actually win this match, on top of it being probably going to be his best match at WrestleMania. If we talking real talk, that is those are the reasons that's making it better than the tag team match. But this match is basically uh, Logan Paul wants to wrestle this match because he knows it's going to be a good match and he wants to go viral and beat AJ Styles. AJ Styles wants the match, I guess, to shut him up and know, hey, just because you're playing wrestler doesn't make you a wrestler. I'm going to wrestle circles around you. That's pretty much what it is. And then Karrion Kross comes in. Hey, you need to let out your evil ways, which is hilarious. We'll talk about that in like a split second. But yeah, he's been saying like you know you can't take him lightly. You know you're a wrestler. You need to win this match against Logan Paul for all the wrestlers in the back, all the boys in the back. If not, you kind of just a joke. You kind of let him win. And that's not something you want to do. So AJ, he said, well, how about I have a match with you? So that match was last night, which was a good match. Karrion Kross, he made his gear from the same way that AJ, I think he made his old gear from like when he was in TNA, which is hilarious. And that gear that he had from AJ, that was nice. It was nice. But Logan Paul came out after AJ Styles did beat Karrion Kross. He said pretty much what I said. It's gonna be a good match. It's gonna go viral, but I'm gonna take you out. I'm gonna beat you out, whatever. Karrion Kross attacks AJ Styles, so they kind of gang up on him, and then he takes away Karrion Kross, and then Logan Paul hits him with that loaded right, bomb, caught him, and then that dope finish thing that he does, and that's the only thing that gives me hope that AJ Styles will at least win this match. So prayers for AJ Styles to win that match. Next up, for the interest level, I have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. And the only real reason why this match is like third least interesting, or it's sort of interesting, but this match just like the feud between the four kind of has been a thing. Lyra Valkyria, she did defend her title against Raquel Rodriguez a couple of weeks ago. I think Raquel beat somebody or won something to get her that opportunity. Um, but I guess they tried to cheat, and then Bailey came to save her and helped her with that. So Liv and Raquel's like, we got to get at them. We got to take them out. But they really didn't do that. Lyra and Bailey had a match for the IC title last week, which was really good. Lyra beat Bailey. Bailey was kind of frustrated at first, but then she was like, it's all good. We're cool, because they had that gauntlet match that was on Friday to determine who was going to be the number one contenders for Liv and Raquel. And with that, all that I said, you know what the answer was going to be. Bailey and Lyra, not only did they win, they ran the gauntlet. They was number one, and they ran through Pure Fusion Collective, Maxine Dupri, and Natalia, the Party Girls, and Secret Hervis. I think that was all of them. She beat all of them, and they won. And then Bailey had a match last night against Liv Morgan, which was a good match. Bailey wins. They tried to do some shenanigans with Raquel, uh, but in the end, Lyra had Bailey's back. She held on her while Liv was about to do Oblivion, and Bailey pins Liv for the win. which means Liv and Raquel are going to absolutely retain. They tag team titles, and somebody's turning heel. I don't know if it's going to be Bailey or Lyra. I think put the money on Lyra if it's me, because Bailey, she just became a babyface last year. I don't think they're going to want her to turn heel again, even though she was frustrated. I think they're going to bait and switch the boy and have Lyra turn on Bailey, which is I think will be good for Lyra and Bailey. Um, I think that would definitely be good because they seem to like drop the whole Bailey Roxanne thing, which is weird because they could have did Bailey versus Roxanne at WrestleMania, and then they could have did either they could have did Liv versus Lyra, but they probably wanted Liv to get a win because Lyra would win, and I don't think they would let they well they could, but I don't think they would want Liv to have both titles. So I think they could. I mean, this my assumption was they was gonna do Liv and Raquel versus Lyra and Becky at WrestleMania for the tag team titles, but maybe Becky didn't want to be there. She maybe it wasn't appealing to her, so she's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna take care of my daughter." And then so they just did the Bailey Lyra match instead of with Liv and Raquel. That would be my assumption that was going to be a thing. But they just said, fuck it. And I guess they're going to put Roxanne on SmackDown, which I think will be a good fit for her. Especially if Lyra does turn heel at WrestleMania to do a big shot because she turns heel at WrestleMania. They will want Roxanne, who also is technically a heel, to get a title or be close to getting a title. So they might have her on SmackDown, where you know Liv or Chelsea is already loved. You have Roxanne beat Chelsea for that title. So there you go. So that's the thing that's going to happen. Next up is the Fatal Four Way. That is my these now are not like they're not like something I'm not interested in. These are like my level of interest. Like the first two, like I just wasn't interested in. The tag team match, even though the feud was a little shaky. I'm still interested in the match because I love Bailey, I love Lyra, I love Liv. Kel's cool. She's gotten since she's come back. She's gotten back in her groove. So she's great too. So that match is going to be interesting. This is stuff that's like now. This is just about level of interest, of my love. And next is that fatal four way with Braun Breaker, Penta, um, Finn, and Dominic Mysterio. Again, it's a whole lot of convolution thing with what's been going on with it. Braun Breaker's been saying forever that he's been wanting competition, and then back when Penta came, like when he first came in, he was like, they were the two that were face to face with each other, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what I need in my life. I need that. And so that's kind of been a thing. Finn Balor has kind of been in his I've been wanting I need that Intercontinental titles thing. Liv has been kind of pressuring Don, but like, hey, you kind of also deserve to be Intercontinental champion. And they've all been kind of intertwined with each other for like the past month. Even though AJ Styles and Braun Breaker also had that thing together, and they probably should have been in the match. We're gonna do it is what it's gonna be. So so Braun, I think he had a match with Dom Mysterio, and Braun he won, and then they've been doing a thing where Dom thinks because JD's gone, they wanted a new member, they wanted to add a new member of Judgment Day, which is also interesting to see how JD feels about being wanting to be replaced. I don't know if he wants to be replaced, but put some extra muscle because they only got Carlito. What are you gonna do with Carlito? Be cool. We love us some Carlito, but I mean, what you gonna do with Carlito? Nothing. He gets speared out of his freaking boots. Boy, got speared out of his boots last week was hilarious. But but they was like, hey, maybe we should add Penta to the Judgment Day, and Finn was like, Penta. He's the one that wants my Intercontinental Championship? That Penta? No new members. Which was hilarious. And then Liv was like, he'll come around. You know, he said the same thing about me, and look what happened to me. Now he lost, and now we're great. Which is also hilarious because Finn and AJ and Liv was a whole thing together, trying to get rid of, try to take down the Judgment Day. Now they're in the Judgment Day. Hilarious. But anyways, so that was a whole thing. I think there was what happened? Oh, Penta last week or 2 weeks ago had a match with Braun for the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. They had a match for the Intercontinental Championship, and match was good. Dom and Carlito, they come down the ramp. No, this might have been longer than that. No, I think this might have been 3 weeks ago that happened. That match happened. And Carlito. Uh, no, no, no. And yeah, so Carlito, they both they get involved. They throw the match out. Braun Breaker wins by disqualification. Pento's confused, like what is going on? What is happening right now? And then Damien Priest, Finn Balor, he comes out, he attacks Braun Breaker, and then he was like, "Hey, here's a steel chair." Beat up, beat up. Braun Breaker. And Penta's like, "You cost me the Intercontinental Championship." He's like, "No." He takes the chair, boom, throws at Dom Mysterio, and then Dom beats up Penta, hit him with the coup de grace. He's like, "Told you, no new members. We don't need no new members." He's like, "Okay, all right." So then I don't remember if I think I don't remember what happened last week. I think last 2 weeks ago was the tag team match where Finn pinned Penta because Penta speared um, Braun speared Penta, and then they took out Braun, and then Finn hit the coup de grace on Penta for the win to give Penta his first loss. You listen to Finn, you win. And then last week is when I don't remember what happened last week. I think that was Penta and Dom, and I think that's where that big spear happened last week. That was great. And then this week, it was Finn versus Penta. Finn beats Penta by disqualification when Braun comes in and attacks Finn. And then ball breaks out. Penta gets the upper hand on everybody except for Finn because Finn's out on the outside. So no Penta win, no Finn win. Who's going to win? New Intercontinental Champion, Dom Mysterio. So they're gonna do the power thing. It's gonna be Dom as Intercontinental Champion being Eddie Guerrero, with Liv as his like I don't even want to say China because China's the I mean I guess Raquel would technically be China and Liv would be like I don't know other love Lita I don't know but that's what that's gonna it's gonna be that because it's gonna be champion and they're gonna still be tag team champions they're gonna run Raw still and that's gonna be interesting and not only that Dom Mysterio is gonna pin Finn, baby. Yeah, Finn's getting pinned. So that's gonna be that. It's gonna be a great episode. Next up, what am I interested in? I'm gonna say maybe controversial, maybe controversial. Oh no, nope, not controversial. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. I love everything about this. This is great. Um, Chad Gable has been searching for a way to beat the Luchadors. He's like, he can't beat him. Everything he's tried with Rey Mysterio, with LWO, with Dragon Lee, he can't beat him. So he's been on a quest to try to find a way to beat those Luchadors. Those Luchadors. I think he's also lost to Andrade, but Andrade's on SmackDown. And so he goes to he gets help from Dom Mysterio who sends him somewhere in Mexico with this guy who had a box. I think it was literally just a mask and here comes El Grande Americano. Everybody's saying it's Chad Gable, but it's not Chad Gable. It is certainly not Chad Gable. and I think he had a debut match against Dragon Lee, which with the loaded max thing, he beat Dragon Lee, and then I think it was a 6-man tag match last week that that he also won. And then Rey Mysterio was like, "I want a match at WrestleMania." He was like, "Yeah, you can have the match against Chad Gable." Chad Gable, his long earned WrestleMania match. He's like, "No, I don't want a match with Chad Gable. No, no, no. I want a match with El Grande Americano." Oh, I hate everything about this. Yeah. So he was like, "Sure, I guess, whatever. You're a legend. You want a match at WrestleMania against El Grande Americano? Sure." So last night, Rey Mysterio had a match against my boy um, Julius Creed. Match was great. Uh, Rey Mysterio wins. El Grande Americano comes out with no Chad Gable. Just saying, no Chad Gable. He might have been. Well, he's honoring. He got kicked out. He's being honored. He's not going to be out there because he got honored. But after he wins, of course, loaded head thing to Rey Mysterio and to Dragon Lee, and they take him out. So thank you or gracias. So this makes me 100% believe that Rey Mysterio is going to win at WrestleMania. He's going to unmask El Grande Americano. Is going to be what you think could do is El Grande Americano could still win with loaded thing. Bow Wow get his win at WrestleMania, and then maybe at Backlash they do a mask versus mask match, and Rey Mysterio wins and he unmasks and it's Chad Gable. But that's I mean, it for me. You let El Grande, Chad Gable, Americano, you let him get a win. He cheats, and then they do Backlash rematch, mask versus mask. Rey Mysterio wins, takes off the mask. Chad Gable. Ooh, my stomach is hungry. But that's one of those matches that is it's a coin flip. You don't know who can win. It could be Rey Mysterio, and you just end it there, and it's Chad Gable, or the more fun way, you let Chad Gable, a Grande Americano, let him get his win, even though he cheats against Rey Mysterio, and then Backlash rematch. That's what I would. It's WrestleMania. Get your big moments. Rey Mysterio. He didn't beat. He won the world title at WrestleMania in a triple threat match. He beat JBL for the IC title in like 25 seconds. Uh, he's had great WrestleMania matches and moments. He does it. He beat. I think he did. He win the tag team titles at WrestleMania with his son. I think maybe, or he defended them with his son and still won at WrestleMania with his son Dominic. He wrestled his son Dominic and beat him. He doesn't need to win this match. He doesn't need it. So that's that. Next up, the next three. Third that I'm most excited for. This is the controversial one that might be controversial. Another main event, the triple threat main event with Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins for nothing. It's just a triple threat match. I'm. This is weird because the match is like the feud has been like kind of up, but then it's been like kind of mid. Um, yeah, this is a weird. The reason why they got the main event is because it's in a contract that CM Punk was like, I don't care. That wasn't really the favorite, but sure, cool. I get the main event WrestleMania. Um, Seth Rollins has been on CM Punk's hatred list forever. This, I guess, goes back to Survivor Series when when they needed a fifth man against New Bloodline, they asked they asked Seth. Seth said, "Nah, nah," and then they asked the favor for Punk. Punk did it, and I was like, "Well, you owe me a favor." Netflix. Punk beats Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins, the kid, doesn't care. He's like, you'll never win or get a title match or main event in WrestleMania as long as I'm around. So at the Royal Rumble, I wouldn't see him. What happened? I think I think Punk eliminated both Roman and Seth, and then somebody eliminated Punk. I think Paul eliminated Punk, and then Seth, boom, curb stomped Roman, and then they brawled. Did that happen? And then the steel cage match, Roman Reigns took out Seth Rollins to help him win, even though Seth Rollins was going to win anyway against Punk. And then they've been doing the thing where dance around this favor that Punk wanted, but the favor that everybody thought it was really that Roman's going to be by himself because Paul Heyman is going to be on the corner of CM Punk, and then Roman Reigns is like, "Wise man, tell him what it is." He was like, "Nah, I can't do that." And then Seth Rollins in the background laughing. It was hilarious. He's like, "Nope, can't do it. Sorry, I love you, Tribal Chief, but I just team. I gotta choose. Gotta choose. Punk." And then boom, GTS to Roman on Punk, or Punk hits GTS to Roman. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm leaving. And then the last Monday, Seth was like, hey, I can fix this. Hey, don't worry about it. If I just take you out, beat you up, you ain't gotta worry about it. You just gotta, because he told him originally, it was like, don't worry about it. Don't just don't be there. You don't have to do it. Just don't be there. And then when it was like, hey, get off of me, don't touch me, leave me alone. He was like, well, I could just beat you up, take you out, and we could call it a day. We could do that if you really want me to. And it was like, how much does CM Punk really? So he was like pushing him, taunting him, and then CM Punk comes out. They brawl. CM Punk gets stomped in his face, and then he was going to do the same thing to Paul Heyman, but it was like, but he doesn't. He was like, hey, now you. However that works, I don't know how that happened. And then, did they have a thing on SmackDown? I think they had a thing on SmackDown, but I don't remember what that thing was. I felt like I. Oh, they was all there. Oh, I think that's when they did the thing where Roman was like, "Hey, smarten him up." No, that's not. That's not. I don't remember what happened on SmackDown, but I think they were all there, but I forgot what happened. But anyways, on Raw, um, Paul Heyman has been looking for Roman all day, and then finally, uh, uh, CM Punk sits down with uh with Paul Heyman. He goes, "Paul, look in my eyes. What do you see?" And then a car is coming in, and Paul goes, "A cult of personality?" That's just kind of hilarious. It was like, "Nah, a friend that I will never abandon you." And then they turn around. Roman's come out the car. He's looking at them because Punk has arms over Paul Heyman, and he just walks right past. And they go to the ring, and Roman is pretty much just like, "Man, crowd, you guys have been with me. You know, I've been too nice. It's like, you guys have been with me the whole time because Paul Heyman was going to do the mic thing to Roman. He kind of just shoulders him, takes another mic, tells the crowd to acknowledge him, and the crowd acknowledged him. He's like, oh, at least somebody's loyal to me. He was pretty much talking about Punk not being loyal, or uh, Paul not being loyal to him. You saw the face of Paul Heyman just like hurt, anger, like a whole bunch of different emotions. And then Seth Rollins comes out, and Seth Rollins was pretty much like, hey, we all make choices. We all do things out of our own will. See, I chose not to attack Paul Heyman last week. Just like he chose to he chose CM Punk. And he was doing this whole thing about favors, and he didn't owe nobody a favor. So it's like, why are you with him when there was no favors to be owed? Because I didn't ask for him. And Seth was just pretty much saying what he's doing was his choice. He wanted to be on CM Punk's side. And then Roman was like, you know what? He's right. And then he attacked Seth Rollins, beats him up. And then he was like, oh, I love you, my tribal chief. You're my favorite tribal chief. You're the best tribal chief. And then Roman just smushes, pie faces Paul Heyman. And CM Punk comes out, and then they all brawl. And then Seth Rollins takes a chair, boom, reminiscent, takes a chair to the back of Roman Reigns, and then he curb stomps both of them, CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And that was the end of that show. That was the end of that. Again, it's been up and down for that. And that is a match that's Roman Reigns is definitely he's not winning this match. I don't it doesn't matter. I don't care. There's nothing to have me believe that Roman Reigns is going to win this match. And I think the reason why the triple threat is even happening is so Roman Reigns doesn't even get. So one or two people is getting pinned, and there's one of the two people who's going to win. CM Punk pinning Seth Rollins, or Seth Rollins pinning CM Punk, and it's going to be 200,000 finishes to take somebody out to give them the win. I had my money on Seth Rollins for the longest time. Even and after this ending, depending if this is the ending, I would say my money is on CM Punk to pin Seth Rollins. But this story still seems like it's going to be Seth Rollins. Even after that, they might do it. I mean, again, Friday is a thing that's happening, and they might do one more little angle to close it out to go into to it. But my gut still says Seth Rollins is going to win and is going to be with Paul Heyman by his side. I still think that's going to happen. Roman Reigns is not winning, but I still think Seth Rollins is going. It's just something in my body is telling me that Seth Rollins is still going to win. He's the one that really needs this the most, and I think this is going to lead to Seth Rollins versus CM Punk for the world title next year at Night 2. I think it's. I think that's what makes sense. Seth Rollins beats pins CM Punk, the main event of night one, to with Paul Heyman by his side, and they do a thing with Jey Uso, but I think Jey Uso is still going to be champion, maybe at least until SummerSlam, Survivor Series. He's going to be champion when Seth Rollins takes the title from him. CM Punk is finally going to win the Royal Rumble. He's going to choose Seth Rollins, the feud that's been brewing with Paul Heyman, with Seth, with Punk. CM Punk will walk into main event of night 2. Seth Rollins is gonna walk in main event night 2 as World Heavyweight Champion. CM Punk is gonna beat Seth Rollins for the world title in night 2 of WrestleMania. That's what I feel like. That's what I think is gonna happen. I think that's the year-long story that they're gonna do, and they'll probably do Roman versus like The Rock. If they finally want to do, they might do Roman versus The Rock, and then who knows what will happen by then? Because they might do they might open with Cody versus Drew McIntyre, which will probably be fine for the WWE title because I think Drew's going to win that title from cashing in. So that's what I think is going to happen. Open up with next year. You open up with Cody and Drew. Cody wins. You close with Rock versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns wins, of course. And then night 2, I don't know what you open night 2 with. Oh, you know what? I lied. You know what you open night, or you know what you close night 1 with? Close it with Bianca and Rhea for the women's world title. That's what you do. Either you do Bianca Rhea night 1, or you do Bianca Jade close night 1, and then night 2 for the following year you do Bianca Rhea. But anyway, speaking of them, kind of, uh, uh, even though it's gonna be a night 2, is Rhea versus champion Io versus Bianca Belair for the women's world title. Um, Again, this is going to be interesting because yeah, this match has been interesting. Nobody won the who won the oh Charlotte won the Royal Rumble. Bianca wins Elimination Chamber, and she's the one that's going to face either Raquel or not, Rhea or Io for the Women's World Title because Io was challenging Rhea for the title. Bianca's out there. Rhea's having a hissy fit. Puts her hands on Bianca. Bianca kind of pushes her, but nothing happens. They get in the ring. Io takes out Rhea, hits the moonsault over the moonsault. Io Sky wins Women's World Title. All right, Io versus Bianca, Women's World Title is set for WrestleMania. Rhea's having again hissy fit when they're doing a contract signing. She's beating everybody up. She's signing it even though it's not legal. So then they do a rematch for Io versus Rhea, and uh, Bianca is special guest referee. So she calls the match out because both Io and Liv has been putting their hands on Bianca. She takes them both out, and then Adam Pearce is like, you know what? That's on me. It's gonna be a triple threat match for the women's world title. Fuck it. And then Bianca, who's been right the whole time, is like, are we in Looney Tune land right now? Like I literally earned my title shot, and Rhea gets to do whatever she wants, and she gets to just be in the title match. And I guess during the video packages, Rhea was like, "Hey, look, everybody's complaining and pouting and get what they want, so I just did the same thing, and look what it got me." Even so, they all had video packages, so there's really nobody knows who's gonna win. I know who's not gonna win. It's not gonna be Rhea Ripley because she's gonna win. Is gonna be getting pinned. The winner, I want the winner to be Io, so I want Io to win. I want Io to win so bad, man. I want her to win, but I feel like it's going to be Bianca. And nothing against Bianca. I love Bianca Belair. I love her, love her, love her, love, 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 love. Again, a second person who people have been saying. Again, people have been saying where are the black people in WrestleMania? New Day, black. Oh, I'm the one. Also, I said only black people. That's on Bianca Belair is black, so that was on me again. But is Bianca gonna win? I don't. I want Io to win. Io or Bianca win it. The only way I would want Bianca to win is if she turns heel. I don't. I think she could turn heel. She'd be with Naomi. I don't know what they're gonna do. That's the one that's really really interesting. But I'm gonna put my confidence on Io Sky because she really technically hasn't defended the title, even though neither did Shawn Spears and Ricky Saints just beat him for it. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Bianca won because of her streak of not being pinned. But she also just said she hasn't been pinned. She didn't say she never lost because she did lose, but she also just said she's never been pinned, which is true. So again, Io Sky can pin Rhea Ripley like she's always done and keep that story about Rhea never beating Io for now, and then you could do Io versus whoever you want leading up to, and then you do Rhea versus Bianca. You could have Bianca get turned heel. And then do you do Bianca Io at SummerSlam? Then Bianca beats Io, and then that's when you do her versus Jade at next year's Mania. Bianca wins, and then you do the following year, if you want, you could do Bianca versus Rhea. Bianca wins again. Night one, Bianca wins, and then night two, or then you do Bianca versus Io rematch SummerSlam. Rhea wins, and then Bianca main event night two, Rhea versus Bianca, the trilogy. Final Rhea finally beats Bianca. Well, she finally ends the winning streak of Bianca, and Rhea wins. We like those. And then finally, the final match that I'm really excited for, and I don't care what anybody else thinks about it. It's Gunther versus Jay for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't care what anybody says. I love Jey Uso. I have a yeet somewhere around here. I love Gunther. I think people were really just mad about this match. You're like, oh, you could do Gunther versus John Cena. You could do Gunther versus Pong. Seth. No, 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 no. Why is it Jey Uso? No, 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 no. Shut up. It's Jey Uso. Jey Uso is like the most over. Like you hear the crowd as soon as Gunther walks out. He comes out. You heard the crowd. The crew was showering him with booze. The crowd was Jey Uso. They was telling him to shut up, booing him all over the place, chanting for Jey Uso. Jey Uso is gonna be so over. Jey Uso is gonna be so over. And I bet you any amount of money if they open that show with Jey, because the crowd is normally like, hey, the first match, people are just coming in. If you tell the crowd that that match is going to open the show, that crowd would be there and watch Jey Uso win that world champion. And you can argue over your mama with it. This match has been happening or this feud, technically, the feud between them, it's kind of been happening since Jey Uso has been tried to beat Gunther for the Intercontinental, and he lost twice, I think. Even though the second time he was supposed to win, but he did the bloodline stuff helped him lose, and that was the whole thing. And then Jey Uso beats Damian Priest, or he beats Drew McIntyre. Then the following week, he challenges Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday Night Main Event. Great match. So this is where people, I think, where people were mostly depressed about Jey Uso. I think it was only mostly because Jey Uso already had the match against Gunther, and then a week later he beats or he wins the Rumble, and then he's like, I want another match with Gunther. And instead of just being like, if he would have lost the match against him, maybe lost Mania, but he's still over. Lost Mania, and then it's John Cena still chooses Cody Rhodes, and then Jay maybe wins Elimination Chamber, and then he's like, they do that. They do that. It's like, oh, I know I could beat him. It's like, oh, I know I could beat him. But then he teases him. He's like, oh, you're not in the same breath as all those other people who was in the Elimination Chamber. But then they cheer for Jay, and Jay wins, and then it's like, okay, now my confidence is back. I beat them. Now I'm coming back for you, Gunther. And then they do the stuff that they did with the Jimmy stuff. They threw the Jimmy in there, and all that good stuff. And then we lead to what we got. I think that might have been able to main event, but instead, good for Jay though. I'm still happy Jay won the Royal Rumble because I love Jay Uso. He wins the Royal Rumble, and then that's when the crowd starts hating for whatever reason. Even though the crowd, well, not the crowd, the internet starts hating. The crowd they're still team Jey Uso. And this match has been based off of, at first, the nerves getting to Jey Uso, or that's how they made it after he did that slip from uh, the 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 suicide thing. But I also think that people were really mad because it's supposed to be a world title feud, but you got like A-Town Down Under in there. There was some other mid card thing that he was that they was feuding with, and that I think what should have happened is when Jay won the Royal Rumble, Gunther should have said, "Hey, you want this? Do you want this? Do you want these problems? I will give you the 10 weeks of hell that he said he was going to do, and then every week Gunther gives Jey Uso 10 weeks of hell. He beats him up, he takes him out, and then you throw in and then you have that psychological thing that he's slipping, maybe can't beat him, he's doing all this stuff. And then Jimmy, who came in, was like, bro, what's going on with you? You hit that dive a gazillion times, and now you're messing up. He's like, I can't beat him. The thing, I can't beat him. It's like, yeah, you can't. Not this version. The right hand man, Jey Uso. He could beat him. The one that won the Royal Rumble, he could beat him. This Jey Uso, you need to get the life together. And then that's when he slaps fire out of Gunther. He's like, I'll challenge you to a match next week. And then again, the next week, when he beat Jay and then made him bloody, put all the blood on him and did all that good stuff. That could have then that was the final breaking point of the 10 weeks of hell or however many weeks of hell that he gave him. Then he's like, when he did it about his mom, it's like his mom was like, hey, your son, why, hey Joshua, why is your son in the hospital? Why didn't you protect him? It's like that's when I knew it's gonna be problems for you. Light bulb just went off on me. It's like I'm not scared of you anymore, and that's when the tides turned when he did all that stuff, and Luther's like, "Hey, it's just me." Oops, he's getting ready. He's hot, happy, and smiling to turn into that. And then this week, and he says, "I'm not scared of Jey Uso. You say all you want about Jey Uso. You think he's the man, but guess what? At the end of the day, the bell has to ring." And when the bell rings, I will disclose you of where you are. I am not afraid of you. Even though he's coming out in street clothes, when he always comes out in his beautiful suits, he come out mad in street clothes, just nerved up about Jey Uso, and it shows. That's what's going to cost him his title. And then Jey Uso again comes out again. The crowd goes crazy for him. No yeet glasses, all black. Goes down the ring, gets love from the crowd again. The crowd goes one more time. It's like I'm trying to be serious, but you heard him one more time. It's just me, who's, and then he does it. He does does that, and he was like, "Look, I said everything I had to say to Gunther. Now this is just for you. I'm grateful for the fans. I thank you for riding with me, for rocking with me. Uh, throughout this whole time, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do all this for you. At WrestleMania, I got him scared. I got him shook. He ain't. He thought he had me, but I ain't scared him no more. He's scared of me. And at WrestleMania, I'm gonna win the World Heavyweight Championship. Aha! One more time, yeet. And then just me, Uso, and everybody. That's what. Yeah, I love it. I am excited. I'm really excited for that main event, or well, it's not the main event, but I'm excited for that match. If it opens the match, the crowd will go crazy. If it doesn't open the match, maybe if they don't open that match with that, they might open with Tiffany and Charlotte. They probably open with that, and then the middle match, you know, for that. So the middle match would be Jay and Gunther because they want the crowd. Maybe they want the dome over with the lights and they do that for him. Then in the main event, they do whatever the triple threat, or you do open with that and then you do like a different match for the middle match, and then you do Tiffany versus Charlotte like they did with Rhea, the match before the main event, and you have them tear it up, and then you tell them to follow that. That's what you do. That's what I would do because I'm petty. But that's that part. I might just do tomorrow. I might do night two about it because this is already 48 minutes. It's long enough. So I'm gonna just do this for this, and then I'll do night two. I'll do night two tomorrow. Forget it. And then if I'm wrong for night two, it is what it is. But what did you guys think? What is your guys' prediction for Raw? And what would be your predictions for the SmackDown side for night one and night two? Let me know. Let you guys let me know. My tongue doesn't like to work sometimes, but you guys let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.